A friend of mine told me that she had a ZZ plant and a pothos that she had for a few years that were sitting there and they're just not really doing anything. Like they weren't blooming, they weren't really growing, they were just kind of meh. And she was kind of ready to give up on it and bring in some new energy into her life. But what I told her next completely changed the way that she looked at her plants and her own personal life. In this video, we're going to talk about how your plants are mirrors into your life and how you can use them to shift the energy and bring back vibrancy and growth into your home. Welcome back to My Piece of Space. I'm Danni Sinclair, holistic interior designer, helping you to feel peace in your body, in your space. This friend of mine, she had these plants for about 4 or 5 years, and they were doing great at first, and then they just started to go slow and stagnant and dormant. And she was caring for them. She was doing all the right things. They weren't really struggling, but not thriving either, just stagnant. She had them in the window. They were getting proper light. They were getting enough water. They just were not growing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just started sprouting. She was getting new shoots on her ZZ plant. The pothos was filling out, becoming a lot more fuller. It was crazy. And she didn't understand, I didn't do anything different. Why is this happening? But I told her our plants, they reflect back to us what we're reflecting. It's possible you may have been in a season of dormancy yourself. And she confirmed that she was. And I was like, well, it's probable that you are either in a season of expansion and growth at this time or about to hit that season. And she resonated with that too. You see, plants respond to their environments. And so the energy that we give out is the energy that they get in. They really do communicate with one another. They communicate with us at all times, and they are responding to all of the energy within their environment and reflecting that back to us. So if your plants are dormant or stagnant and slow growing, well, it's probably because you're pretty dormant and stagnant and slow growing at the time too. And this may not be a bad thing. We all go through seasons of rapid growth and then kind of settling into that new energy before another season of rapid growth. Plants do this too. When we're in a season of conserving our own energy, maybe feeling a little low or stagnant, or not fully nurturing ourselves, our plants will directly mirror that right back to us. I know firsthand, anytime I am not doing my self-care, I am not taking enough time for myself, I am burning myself out, my plants suffer, and I can see it. They start to wilt, they droop, and I can absolutely tell that is the way that I'm treating myself. My awareness to this is when I see one of my plants being neglected, that is like a whiplash for me to give myself a little bit more TLC and self-care and kindness and compassion. Our growing season shifts once we have all of the right resources and support and nutrients in and around us. We are the same, just as the plants. But additionally, I brought this up to my friend, and I bring this to you. If you do have a plant that is a little stagnant and seems to be a little dormant, when's the last time you fertilized it and gave it some plant food? The plants use up all the nutrients in the soil, and they need to be fed just like we do. And so she had mentioned that it's been 5 years since she had the plants and she has not given it any fertilizer. Well, it's like, the plant can't just live off of water and soil and energy alone. It can, but it might not thrive to its fullest potential. So go ahead and give it some plant food and you'll see it start to liven up a lot more. The energetic mirror. Are you fertilizing yourself? Are you giving yourself your proper nutrients? Are you fertilizing yourself with the energy that you need in order to sustain a fruitful life? Or are you relying on the energy that surrounds you to grow and to sustain yourself? You can't really rely on outside energy for consistent growth. The only thing that you can rely on for the most consistent growth is your healthy habits and your mindset. Having plants in your home is an active way of tending to the energy of your space. It's a consistent and habitual measure of growth, of where energy is potentially stagnant or slow moving, or where it could be thriving or overactive even. I used to have a plant over here that I have really tall ceilings. The plant grew to like 11 feet. I had to chop it down and I had to move it because it's just a very active corner. So knowing where the energy is more active, more stagnant, more slow with your plants could give you some insight into the energy in your space and attune the energy in your space a little bit more. But if you're noticing that your plants, which were thriving, are suddenly drooping or not thriving, and you haven't changed any of your habitual plant habits, then it could be a really good indicator that there's something energetically that is going on in your space that is preventing your energy from thriving. It could be mirroring stress. It could be mirroring neglect. If the plants are thriving, I guarantee that you're thriving. If the plants are struggling, I can almost guarantee that you are struggling. And once you are more aware of this, then you can attune it. You can fix it. You can adjust. So having the knowledge and having the awareness of these little mirrors are really, really good for us because we can look at them as personal mirrors into what's going on in our personal lives as well as our home lives. Once you have this awareness between yourself and your plants, then you can really begin to understand in your home a little bit deeper about the energy that is surrounding you and your plants. If you're finding that your plants are struggling a little bit, make sure that you're decluttering the space, keep them dust free, make sure there's no pests in them, or maybe you want to move them to other corners where there's a little bit more energy, maybe a little bit better of a light source, closer to a window, closer to the family. Plants don't really want to be lonely. They want to be interacted with. They want to be talked to. They want to be touched. They want to love you. They want you to love them back. I really use my plants as it's a mindfulness practice, I guess. It's a way for me to practice a little bit of self-reflection about what's going on with my life. And I appreciate them for that. And I hope that they benefit from my love and care as well, from my energy. Dormant plants can be a reflection that there's something else going on, that you might need to look a little bit more inward. I want to know in the comments, have you ever looked at a plant and felt like it was reflecting your energy? Me too. Let me know. That's all I have for today. I'll see you next time. Peace.